What happens when the two biggest rappers of a generation decide to go quiet tension? Two titans operating in the same space, sharing fans, awards, and the summit of hip-hop, but never truly colliding. It was a cold peace. But in 2023, that peace shattered. What followed was not just a rap beef. It was a cultural earthquake, a series of musical missiles, personal allegations, and viral moments that divided the internet and redefined hip-hop in the 2020s. This is the story of Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. This is the story of a hot war that burned white hot and the Cold War that followed. For over a decade, Kendrick Lamar and Drake existed in a state of competitive coexistence. They collaborated, like on Drake's 2011 track, Buried Alive interlude. They traded respectful, if pointed, bars. Kendrick's iconic Control verse in 2013 declared war on everyone, Drake included. Drake would later respond on the language with, "I don't know why they've been lying, but your shit is not that inspiring." But the true catalyst for the modern war came from a third king. In early 2023, J. Cole sat down with Lil Yachty. When asked about the so-called Big Three, Cole made his position clear.
Told them to take their craft more seriously, we wouldn't be where we are now, because them dudes was just living life and being free. Yeah. It's the man in the place to be. Folk flex on the top of the place to be. That nigga wasn't taking himself too serious. Like
bars in there.
Yeah, like he was just trying to hype the party up.
A proclamation, a coronation, but within that statement was a hierarchy. Cole placed himself first, Drake second, Kendrick third. For a rapper of Kendrick's caliber, a rapper who had just won a Pulitzer Prize, this was a quiet, public slight. The chessboard was set. The first move was made, not by a player, but by a commentator. And Kendrick Lamar was listening. Months passed. Then, in March of 2024, on the Metro Boomin and Future album, We Don't Trust You, the landscape shifted forever. On a track called Like That, Kendrick Lamar seized the moment. The beat dropped, and Kendrick's voice, calm and lethal, delivered the declaration of war. Yeah, get up with me. Fuck sneak dissing. First-person shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches. He was directly addressing Drake and J. Cole's song First-Person Shooter, where they debated who was the greatest. But Kendrick wasn't debating. He was destroying. The next line echoed through the culture. It's just Big Me. Motherfuck the Big Three. He rejected the club. He declared himself the only one. The reaction was instant and seismic. The hip-hop internet exploded. Commentator DJ Academics captured the shock on his stream.
Shit, bullies are throwing him. Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they're in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. They tell me Chubb's the only one that get your hammy down. And party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baka got a real case, why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified pedestal. Doc, fuck him up. I'ma do my stuff. Why you pulling like a bitch, ain't you? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably...
This wasn't a subliminal. This was a direct, confrontational, and masterfully delivered opening salvo. The quiet tension of a decade was over. The war had officially begun, and all eyes turned to Toronto. How would Drake, the king of composure and clapbacks, respond? Drake's response was unorthodox. It didn't arrive on a streaming service. It leaked to the world in April 2024, a rough, gritty track called Push-Ups, Drop and Give Me 50. The strategy was clear, mock and dismantle. Drake's voice was dripping with dismissive sarcasm. He didn't just attack Kendrick's stature. He attacked his business, his influence, and his collaborators. He mocked Kendrick's deal with Top Dog and Interscope, rapping, "You better get back to them shares and them percentages." He took aim at Kendrick's height, his features with Maroon 5, and even his proteges, asking, "How the fuck you big steppin' with a size 7 men's on?" The most brutal line questioned Kendrick's entire position. "You ain't even in the conversation. You just bringing up my name for engagement." Drake was painting Kendrick as a smaller artist trying to climb by attacking the king. The leak itself was psychological warfare. It created chaos. Was it real? Was it AI? For days, the internet debated the authenticity, which only amplified its reach. When the official, cleared version finally hit streaming, the message was reinforced. Drake had answered. He had not just responded. He had belittled. The pressure was now back on Kendrick. The world waited. Would he escalate, or would he fold? Kendrick did not fold. He escalated beyond anyone's prediction. He didn't just drop a track. He executed a plan. First, in late April 2024, came Euphoria, a 6-minute, intricately produced symphony of disdain. This was not a blunt force leak. This was a carefully crafted essay. Kendrick abandoned the playful jabs. He went for the soul. He attacked Drake's authenticity, calling him a master manipulator and a predator. He mocked his parenting, his use of black vernacular as a biracial artist, and his reliance on ghostwriters. The tone was cold, analytical, and utterly devastating. He painted Drake not as a rival, but as a cultural fraud. But Euphoria was just the first move in a 24-hour blitz. The very next day, a second track, 616 in LA, mysteriously appeared. It was quieter, more ominous, suggesting Drake had moles in his own camp. It was a warning shot, proving Kendrick was operating with strategy and intelligence. The reaction from commentators was one of awe. On the Joe Budden podcast, the mood was clear. This was different.
Up on these niggas. This shit here sound like Kendrick is basically saying, listen, it can go further than music, and I'm all for it. Yeah. That's what this
that last verse sound like a dog whistle of different proportions.
This sound like I'm saying something totally different out there. Like, nigga, we can turn this up. Fuck the rap shit.
Because every time he shouts somebody out, it's not by chance. Like that 2 T's shout out, this top shout out right at the top, and then getting right into the next line, and then I ain't even saying nothing else because I'm shook.
Drake had thrown a punch. Kendrick had responded with a surgical strike. The battlefield was no longer about who had the better bar. It was about character, legacy, and truth. And the most shocking chapters were still to come. The war was about to get personal. The rules of engagement were shattered on May 3rd, 2024. Kendrick Lamar released Meet the Grahams. This was no longer hip-hop. This was a public intervention. The track was structured as open letters. To Drake's son, Adonis, warning him about his father. To Drake's unnamed daughter, a claim that shook the internet. And to Drake's parents, accusing them of hiding a secret child. The allegations were nuclear. Kendrick positioned himself not just as a rival, but as a whistleblower, alleging Drake was hiding a daughter and had serious, problematic secrets. The tone was grave, priest-like, and aimed to permanently damage Drake's carefully curated family man image. The internet held its breath. This was uncharted territory. How do you respond to that? Drake's response, The Heart Part 6, arrived days later. His tone was different, not frantic, but defiant and dismissive. He called the allegations a strategic trap he had anticipated. His most cunning move? He co-opted the daughter allegation. He rapped, We plotted for a week, and then we fed you the information. That's a strategic wipeout. Yeah, we wiped all the information. He claimed the rumor was a false flag, a lie he let fester so Kendrick would look reckless for repeating it. He shifted the narrative from a scandal about a hidden child to a lesson about journalistic integrity. He ended the song with a warning and a seeming exit. You know, at this point, I gotta let go. You know you're a terrible person, right? You're gonna get karma for that. It was a rhetorical retreat, a claim of the moral high ground. The battle of the shocking allegation seemed to have ended in a tense, ugly stalemate. But Kendrick was not finished. He was about to change the game entirely. On May 4th, 2024, Kendrick Lamar had dropped the most important song of the beef. It wasn't the most vicious. It wasn't the most personal. It was the most catchy. It was Not Like Us. Produced by Mustard, it was a West Coast summer anthem. It weaponized a melody. The accusations were still severe, calling Drake a colonizer, revisiting the Predator allegations, but they were wrapped in an undeniable, danceable beat. This was the masterstroke. Meet the Grahams was for the blogs. Not Like Us was for the streets, the clubs, the barbecues, and the algorithms. It became a meme, A challenge, a cultural signifier. DJs blasted it. Crowds chanted it. It wasn't just a diss track. It was the song of the summer. The data told the story. It smashed streaming records. It debuted at #1. Videos of packed clubs erupting when the DJ played Not Like Us flooded the internet. Radio host Big Boy captured the moment in an interview, highlighting the shift.
Too bad. I believe you don't like women. It's real competition. You might bypass with them. Let's speak on percentage. Show me your splits. I'll make sure I double back with you. You assigned to it. Assigned to it. That said, he was signed to that. Try cease and desist on the like that record. What, you ain't like that record? Back to back. I like that record. Back to that for the record. When I come around trying to get dirt on me. You think of my life as rap? I got a son on the race, but I can see you don't know nothing about that. One thing no more, know nothing about that. They tell them to pray, know nothing about that. They giving them tools to walk through life like day by day, know nothing about that. Teaching them morals, integrity, discipline, listen, man, you don't know nothing about that. Speaking the truth and consider what God's considering, you don't know nothing about that. Ain't 20v1, it's 1v20 if I got to step that right with you. Yeah, bring them out too, I clear them out too. Tell people that go so like Joel Austin. Funny, he was in a film called AI. And my 6'6" telling me to off.
God damn, man. Where did it go?
Drake attempted a final counter with The Heart Part 6, but the momentum was irreversible. The court of public opinion had rendered its verdict. Kendrick had won the battle of the streets and the playlists. He had successfully framed Drake as an outsider, a cultural tourist. Not Like Us wasn't just a song, it was a branding. And it stuck. After Not Like Us, something profound happened. Kendrick Lamar went silent. He did no interviews. He posted no explanations. He released no more music. He had said his piece, delivered what many considered the knockout blow, and vanished. Drake, meanwhile, attempted to move on. He released a playful, confrontational track, Wagwan Delilah. But the energy had shifted. The world was still chanting Not Like Us. In a later interview on his Table for One radio show, Drake addressed the beef not with fury, but with a tone of weary dismissal. This was the birth of the Cold War. The direct, track-for-track firing had ceased. Kendrick's silence became his ultimate power move, a statement that he had ascended beyond the fray. Drake's response was to project business as usual, focusing on his empire, his tours, his brand. The hot war was over. The period of explosive diss tracks had concluded in May 2024, but the conflict was far from finished. It had simply mutated. It entered a new, colder, more strategic phase. A battle not for the summer, but for history. A fight no longer waged with microphones, but with legacies. With the principles in a tense ceasefire, the conflict found new life through their soldiers. The hot war became a series of proxy battles. From Kendrick Lamar's camp, the most vocal was his cousin and protege, Baby Keem. In live performances and on social media, Keem's energy became more aggressive. At concerts, he would hype crowds not just with his own hits, but with chants echoing the sentiment of Not Like Us. His lyrics took on a sharper, more confrontational edge, with fans dissecting lines for subliminal shots at the OVO empire. It was a clear signal. While Kendrick may be silent, his faction remains on high alert, defending the victory. From Drake's side, the response was more global and subtle. His massively successful collaboration with UK drill star Central C created a new lane of influence. In interviews, Central C made offhand remarks that were interpreted as shots across the bow. In one UK interview, when asked about US rap feuds, he commented, "Some of it feels like homework. We're just trying to make hits that move the crowd." To the dissecting ears of the internet, this was a Drake-sanctioned dismissal of Kendrick's more dense, lyrical approach. The most unexpected flare-up, however, came from an old ghost, the ghostwriting debate. In early 2025, an obscure songwriter from the 2010s, gave an interview alleging that the use of uncredited writers was a pandemic that extended to artists known for their pen. While no names were said, Drake's circle subtly amplified the interview. The implication was clear. Let's revisit the question of who really writes their rhymes. The counterpunch came not from Kendrick, but from his inner circle. Top Dog Entertainment's J-Rock fired back on social media with a tweet that was quickly deleted but never forgotten. It read, "We write our own shit. Always have. The pen is the sword." This wasn't just a defense. It was a reaffirmation of the core value Kendrick had weaponized against Drake: authenticity. The proxy war proved the conflict was alive, just operating through intermediaries and ancient grudges. In the absence of new official diss tracks, the most vibrant battlefield moved online, governed by fans and algorithms. This was the meme war. Two competing philosophies were born. For Drake stans, the map meme showed his influence as a vast, global network, lines connecting Toronto to London, to Atlanta, to the world. It argued his legacy was one of connection and cultural fusion. For Team Kendrick, the blueprint meme showed his influence as a deep, foundational diagram. Arrows pointed from his work to a new generation of conscious lyricists, to Pulitzer Prizes, to film scores. It argued his legacy was one of depth and permanent artistic change. But the most disruptive force was artificial intelligence. A flood of AI-generated diss tracks began to saturate YouTube and TikTok. Hyper-realistic voice clones of Kendrick and Drake rapped lyrics written by fans, accusing each other of everything from poor parenting to bad fashion. The quality was sometimes shockingly convincing, creating moments of real confusion. Both camps had to officially deny tracks they never made. This AI anarchy created a surreal reality where the beef could be extended infinitely by anyone with a laptop, blurring the line between fan fiction and perceived reality. The artists lost a degree of control over their own narrative, becoming characters in a crowdsourced saga. By 2025 and into 2026, the conflict entered its final, mature state, the Great Détente. This was no longer a war of words. It was a war of monuments. Both artists pivoted to building their undeniable, permanent legacies, using the rivalry as a silent, motivating backdrop. Kendrick Lamar retreated into the realm of high art. His work with his company PG Lang expanded into film and multimedia. He scored a major motion picture, earning critical acclaim at festivals. His few musical releases were dense, orchestral, and thematic, positioning him as a modern-day composer, an artist concerned with timelessness, not charts. In a rare statement about his work, he told a publication, "The goal is to build something that stands when you're gone. A foundation, not just a moment." Drake, in response, doubled down on being the undisputed king of the moment. He launched his OVO Sound Network, a media empire encompassing music, talk, and fashion. His albums became global events less about introspection and more about domination, collaborations with artists from every continent designed to own the streaming charts. In a business profile, an OVO executive framed their mission. "We're building the world's biggest cultural ecosystem. Music is the engine, but the destination is everywhere." They were now speaking different languages. One spoke of foundations, the other of ecosystems. One of permanence, the other of ubiquity. The diss tracks were artifacts in a museum. They were both now too busy building to visit. So, who won the war between Kendrick Lamar and Drake? The answer depends entirely on what you value in hip-hop. If you believe the winner is the one who landed the hardest cultural blow, who created the anthem that defined the summer and successfully framed his opponent as an inauthentic outsider, then the victory belongs to Kendrick Lamar. Not Like Us was the undeniable checkmate of the hot war. If you believe the winner is the one who proved unstoppable commercially, who shrugged off the allegations and continued to break streaming records and expand his empire globally, then Drake never lost. His resilience and economic power are his victory condition. But perhaps the truest answer is that they both won by forcing each other into their ultimate forms. The beef was the fire that purified their purposes. Kendrick was forged into the uncompromising artist laureate, the guardian of hip-hop's dense, truthful core. Drake was hardened into the cultural emperor, the master of its expansive, global pop dominion. Their Cold War, This great détente is the result. It is the silent, ongoing argument between two opposing visions of greatness. One is a deep, unwavering blueprint. The other is a vast, connecting map. The music has stopped, but the debate they started about authenticity, about legacy, about what hip-hop should be, that debate is forever, and we are all still listening. The story of Kendrick and Drake is more than just a feud. It's a mirror held up to hip-hop itself, a debate about art, influence, and legacy that continues even when the microphones are off. If you lived through this era, you picked a side. You argued online. You streamed the diss tracks. You became part of the story. So tell us in the comments, who do you think truly won the war? The artist with the anthem, or the emperor with the empire? Is it about the blueprint, or the map? This is the kind of deep dive we live for. If you want more untold stories from music's biggest battles, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. We break down the culture, so you don't have to. Thanks for watching. Until the next chapter drops, stay tuned.